Okay, let me ask you a question. What would happen if all your past clients sent you a referral in the next 12 months? What would happen if every week the leads you generated literally weeks ago, months ago, even years ago, reached out to you to help them either buy or sell a home? Well, that's the power of being intentional about building your database. So here's the fact. Your database is either appreciating or depreciating every day, and its value is elastic to your communication. So in this video, we're going to discuss the 3 principles that if you can proactively manage them, will help you not only probably have a chance at doubling your business over the next 12 months, but it'll put you in a situation where you can consistently know you're going to have deals in the pipeline closing no matter what the current market conditions are. So managing your database is one of the most important things you can do as an agent. What's going on, everybody? I'm Michael Reese, a digital marketing expert, an agent, and a real estate coach. And I teach realtors, team leaders, and brokers how to grow and scale their real estate businesses through digital marketing, content creation, and social media. If you want proven strategies that can help you get more leads, close more deals, and scale your real estate business, then you're gonna love this video, so keep watching and make sure you hit that subscribe button and then turn on notifications, because I put out new content every week that will help you with turning strangers into clients and building a business that works harder for you than you do for it. All right, so building a database it's not only a strategy, I wanna call it a mindset, right? You have to first believe that it's possible. I've witnessed this in my career where somebody was generating out of their total closed transactions, 2% of their entire transactions for the year came from their database. When proactively managing it and putting a system behind that I'm going to demonstrate for you today, they were able to get that into not only the multiple double digits. I've actually met people who've had 40% of their transactions coming from their database when they're selling multiple tens to, if not hundreds of deals a year. So the question is how do they do that? And the first thing I want to point out is when I say it's a mindset, here's what I'm saying. Database marketing is what I referred to in the book that we've written. If you haven't read it, Digital President, it's referred to relationship marketing. See, it's not the size of your database that matters. It's the relationship that you have with your database that matters. So the real question is how do you build a relationship? Well, the 3 principles is A, you have to continue to always grow your database. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Number 2 is you have to segment your database. We're going to talk a little bit why segmentation is so important. Then finally, communication. So when we talk about building and growing your database, we can grow our database by adding new contacts. You can also add addresses. You can build your database by building a database of pixels. These are people that have come and visited your website who have behaved in a manner which is indicative of them maybe looking to buy or sell a home. We can also leverage the database and build it and grow it by using a multi-step process for converting our leads. So think about when you go to a website and the website asks you to simply put in your address. By putting in the address, we can create a contact record. If the prospect doesn't finish the checkout process by giving us their name and phone number, just like with an expired, we can go get that information anyway. The reason that's important is my best year for listing homes, 62% of my listings that came from online ad spend came from people who gave me their address because they've actually were responding to a call to action or an advertisement about selling their home, but didn't give me their phone number and we got it anyway. Another thing is your social media platform subscribers. And finally, anytime that you're growing your database, you want to be able to leverage what we call as a situational opt-in. This is where you're bringing people into your database and you're learning a little bit more about them. Because here's the facts. If you want to build a relationship with people, then you're going to have to segment and you're going to have to communicate. And finally, it's about not the size of your database, but the relationship with your database. And what we're going to talk about going forward is how do you really build a relationship with the database? In the book, Digital President, if you haven't read it, you should read it. I'll put a link in the description, but it talks about not only the situational opt-in, which we're going to break down here in a minute, but it also talks more about relationship marketing. And in order to do relationship marketing, there's one important acronym I want you to write down. It's called NINO, NINO. And what that means is not in, not out. If something doesn't go into your database, then you can't get it out. And what do I mean by that is when somebody gives you information through a contact form online, a lead form, then you're going to be able to ask them a few questions. Are they a buyer? Are they a seller? Do they currently own a home? Are they in town or out of town? Those are different things in your database that you can segment people and communicate. Another is anyone that you've actually met. You might generate a lead that's in your database that's a homeowner, but that's different than if it's a homeowner you actually met face to face, because any of your communication going forward can reference the meeting in which you met them. Now, if you're going to segment your database and you're going to market to your database, I want to reference a book, Hug Your Customer, as well. It's an amazing book written by Jack Mitchell. I have actually interviewed Jack. Jack has an amazing story if you haven't heard about it. He built an amazing business all from a database, and he was in the clothing industry, and his sales reps or agents would actually sell more than most agents sell in homes, all from a database. And one of the things in Hug Your Customer, it points out is, hey, listen, you can communicate with your database based upon the client's birthday if you have the birthday. You obviously can communicate with the database at Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, New Year's. Also, you can have individual communication based upon if someone's bought or done a transaction with you, their home anniversary, right? So your goal in building your database and growing your database and building this relationship marketing specifically is going to be learning more about your clients and information in regards to like maybe special interest groups, their spouse's name, their children's names, the social media preferences that they have, their communication preference, the types of communication. Maybe if they give you their cell phone, you can communicate to them that way. But if you only have an email, maybe that's the only way, but maybe they have a preferred method of being communicated to. Putting that type of information in your database is the methodology and the process of building a relationship, because now you're communicating to your database in a way they want to be communicated. You're able to communicate to them specifically, because there's only really 4 types of communication. You can do mass communication, where you send an email out to everybody. You can do mass personalized communication, where you send the email out to everybody, maybe in a neighborhood, in a city, and you personalize it. You can do personalized communication, where you send an email out and maybe it's specifically to people based upon their interest. Maybe you're in a situation where, like me, I live in a market where there's a very popular football team, and maybe there's certain people in that community that like that football team, and maybe I'm going to do a client event around that football team, and so I want to definitely know who likes them and who doesn't, and so I can communicate to them and I can personalize that. I can do one-on-one communication. Again, communicating to your database, whether it's market updates, which can be either done weekly, monthly, you're going to have to determine how you're going to do it, whether it's email, text, if it's offline with regular snail mail. Here's the bottom line. This is what you have to understand. You're either making deposits into your database or you're making withdrawals. Your goal is to make more deposits. So you're either giving or taking. You're either adding value or you're asking the client to do something for you. Specifically, usually that's in the form of what we call as a call to action. I think it's best to have more deposits than you have withdrawals so that you actually have goodwill. And remember, as your database grows and your relationship grows, it's going to be based upon the consumption. As they consume more information that you provide them of value, as consumption goes up, trust goes up, and the relationship with your database gets better. Now, it is important to know that you are going to want to monetize your database. And so there's very specific calls to actions like surveys that you can do to your database, response type emails, but you want to make sure that you're always building your brand. So having your value proposition in your email footer, making sure that everything you do is building the brand in which what makes you different. So an example, if I have a proven repeatable system backed by market research to sell your home for up to 18% more than the methods used by traditional agents, I'm going to have that in my email signature every time I'm communicating to them, whether that's a survey, whether that's a free video going over the home inspection pitfalls, or if it's a situation where I'm offering to give them the evaluation on their home. Remember, you can do response type calls to action where you're eliciting a response, or you can actually send traffic from your database to a very specific landing page, maybe like a home evaluation that's preceded by thinking of selling your home in the next 6 months. Make sure you don't make these mistakes. Go insert home evaluation website. Again, marketing to your database is one of the lowest hanging fruits. I think that you can consider doing this and building your database, building your Facebook community when you're at closing, when you meet people. And remember, over time, connecting with your database, having the right balance of calls to action is important, but nothing's going to supersede giving your clients a great experience. It literally takes 12 positive responses to make up for one negative response in the marketplace. You don't want to have negative responses. You want to have a brand in which you do a great job for your clients. You do it in a differentiated way where people 48% of the time will actually tell people of a positive experience they have with a business. And again, if you're wanting to build that database, let's not forget our vendors, the people in our community, the other business owners, because other business owners in the community, if you send them referrals, a painter, a divorce attorney, by sending them referrals, they're going to send you referrals. So your database is not only your unconverted leads, your database is everybody that you know that you're building a relationship with, and you're communicating with that database weekly, monthly, quarterly with a planned, intentional communication strategy. If you would like to generate more deals from your database, if you'd like to grow and scale your business, if you would like to take your business to the next level, then the first thing you got to do is find out where you currently are. And the great news is we actually created a video that goes over the 7 stages. It goes over every stage of a real estate business, no matter what market you're in. By understanding the number one thing holding your business back and solving that issue, it allows you to go to the next stage. So if you want to watch that video, it's the 7 stages to get to 300 transactions a year. I'm going to put a link here in the video and also in the description. If you like this video, then do me a favor and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we put content out every single week just like this. So by turning on notifications, you'll be notified. I want you to realize one thing is if you could get a deal for every one of your past clients, you'd probably have a good year. But hope is not a strategy. If you want to get deals from your database, from your past clients, from your unconverted leads, remember you have to have communication. What kind of communication? You want to have communication that adds value, that is making deposits and building relationships by having relevant, meaningful communication. And the only way you do that is through segmenting and learning more about the customer. Go read the book, Hug Your Customer. Make sure you get the book, Digital President, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for your time. And like we always say, we will either see you at the top or from the top.